Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Fanboy podcast. I'm so happy to be back today. For those of you who are joining, we just greatly appreciate it. There's probably not going to be an intro because, unfortunately, my co-host Franco, the awesome one, I feel like I mess up every time I say Imosua, will be out today for prior engagement, which is perfectly fine. So today I have my lovely fiance Katie as the co-host. Katie, if you'd like to say hi.
Howdy.
Okay, there we go. So there won't be an intro because usually Franco takes care of that, and he's much better with the whole tech thing than I am. So we decided we originally were supposed to cover Hulk today, right? But I said let's put that on hold to give the fans something to hold them off for just a bit. So today we'll be talking about Shazam 2 Fury of the Gods. Recently saw it this past weekend, so I will be giving an honest opinion of how I felt about this entire movie from start to finish. Like from credits, I'm gonna talk about the credits. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. And my fiance will be joining to also give her opinion on what she thought as well. And maybe ours align, maybe ours don't. So let me just get right into this, okay? April 5th, 2019, Shazam releases in theaters. That was the first Shazam movie. DC's rolling out all of their latest products. You know, they're trying to catch up to Marvel, which again, I strongly disagree that they even tried to do that. Still a fan of both franchises. And I actually went to go see Shazam at an early screening. It was like some type of Fathom event. They let us see it, I think, 2 or 3 weeks ahead of the movie's actual release date, which was really freaking cool. So I went to go check it out. Paid a little extra for the ticket because that's what happens when you get those early viewings. And I honestly, I remember the tickets that I got were last minute too. I just come back from out of town, hit up a friend, and was like, "Let's go see Shazam. It's an early screening." And we got the neck breaker seats, so I'm having like be like that, even though it was a century, so the seats lean back a bit. Went to go check out this movie, and I absolutely adored it. I loved every single bit of Shazam, the first film. I thought it was great. So when I found out that they were making a sequel, you know, your boy's hype. So that's what we will be talking about today. There will be spoilers inside this review, so if you have not seen the movie, feel free to take a pause. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Feel free to take a pause. Go watch this movie. Watch the first and second. You've been warned. But let's just say you don't care for spoilers, and sit back, grab yourself some popcorn, a soda, Minute Maid. That's what I'm drinking right now. And just enjoy everything that we have to say about this film. Okay, so let's get started. Shazam 2 was released March the 17th, 2023. It's crazy to believe it's 23. On St. Patrick's Day. For those of you who are Irish, my fiance is Irish, happy late St. Patrick's Day to y'all. And it's directed by David F. Sandberg, written by Henry Gayden, who also wrote. David F. Sandberg also directed the first movie, and the writers were Henry Gayden as well. I'm sorry, I'm reading off of everything I'm about to say is brought to you by the lovely IMDb. Again, IMDb, if you would love to sponsor us on the Fanboy podcast, that would mean the world. But IMDb for all your latest and greatest movie needs, whether it's a trailer, if you're trying to prove to somebody that, yes, that was James Franco in that movie that we saw last night, you cannot argue with me. Pull up IMDb, pull up the name of the movie, pull up the cast, boom. Show people you know your stuff. I always know my stuff. To the friends that know this inside joke, Thunderbirds is an actual movie. It exists.
Oh my gosh.
So with that being said, it was pretty cool to see that David F. Sandberg returned and Henry Gayden returned to write this movie. So I'm going to read the synopsis for Shazam: Fury of the Gods, brought to you by IMDb. The film continues the story of teenage Billy Batson, who, upon reciting the magic word Shazam, I'm not going to scream that, is transformed into his adult superhero alter ego, Shazam. I feel like that doesn't give away anything about the movie at all in any way, shape, or form. That was pretty bad. I did not like that. Some of the cast, I'm just going to start naming them. We got Zachary Levi for fans of Chuck. There you go. You get to see more of this beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous face. Zachary Levi's a very good-looking man. We got Asher Angel returning as Billy Batson. Amazing portrayal of Billy Batson. We got Jack Dylan Grazer. For those of you who first saw Jack Dylan Grazer in It 2017, that's when I saw him, and I've watched a lot of the stuff he's been in ever since. He was even a voice on Luca. I mean, he wasn't the voice of Luca, but he was the voice of a friend. We got Rachel Ziegler. I think she sings. Forgive me. I think she's a pop artist or something like that. Adam Brody, good-looking man as well. And you know what? I'm going to name a few things. We got Adam Brody, Ross Butley, DJ Catrona, Grace Caroline Curry, Megan Good, Lucy Liu. I know I'm going to say this wrong, but I have so much respect for this actor. I think it's Diomon Hansu, if I'm correct. Helen Mirren, Faith Herman, Ian Chen, Jovan Armand, Marta Milans, Cooper Andrews, a.k.a. Jerry, from The Walking Dead. Yeah, okay, so there's just a few things. Okay, I'll name some other stuff, and then kind of get into this. So, for those of y'all who have been watching the Shazam films, you do know that at the end of the first Shazam film, he gives a lot of powers to all of his family, right? So I'm going to name some of the differences from the first movie and the sequel movie. Okay, so now I'm no longer talking about the child actors. I'm talking about their adult counterparts after the words Shazam are spoken. In that group, you have Freddy, right, who's played by Adam Brody as an adult, and you have DJ Catrona, who plays the older version of Pedro. If you know your movie stuff, in 2007, there was a Justice League movie that was supposed to be released. Armie Hammer was supposed to play Batman. DJ Catrona was actually on to play Superman, and Adam Brody was on to play The Flash, Barry Allen, which to this day I would have loved to see him play The Flash. I wish that movie came to be, or I just wish they would have casted Adam Brody as The Flash now.
Yeah.
No offense to Grant Gustin. Still love Grant Gustin. Not the later seasons. They're trash. So yeah, these two guys originally, go look it up. You can find concept art. You can find, I think, some of the script. You could find pictures of them in suit as well. So go check that out. For those of you who didn't know that, just thought that was a little fun tidbit to add to this movie. Let me see, what else can we say? Yeah, Helen Mirren. I love watching stuff that Helen Mirren's in. She's a phenomenal actress. Lucy Liu is in this movie. For those of you who love the Charlie's Angel films, there you go. You get some Lucy Liu. Megan Good to be in a superhero film was pretty funny because growing up I didn't see her in superhero films. Also, recently she named in her top 5 rappers. Lecrae was one of her favorites, so hardcore rock with that opinion. Then you have Grace Caroline Curry, who plays Mary. Okay, so here's another thing that I wanted to mention. In the first movie, Mary has an adult counterpart. I forget the actress's name. As soon as she says Shazam. But for the sequel, they kind of said that it made no sense to I'm trying to forget. It made no sense to have Mary get a little older because she was already going to college or on the verge of going to college in the first film. So for this movie, they kept Grace Caroline Curry as Mary all through. So even when they say Shazam, and then they went back and edited a flashback scene from the first film to include her in that scene as well. It's just something that I thought was a smart idea. At the same time, I still don't feel like I did when I was 18. But, you know, I guess only you truly see your age. And that's the entire review of Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I'm just kidding. So here on this channel, the Fanboy Podcast, we rate using Infinity Stones. Because the Infinity Stones are what made the Infinity Gauntlet. Okay? So let's go ahead and give our rating first as to what you thought out of 6 Infinity Stones, Katie. What do you rate Shazam! Fury of the Gods?
Out of 6, so I'm saying like 6 is just top notch, best thing I've ever seen.
Top notch is 6, because out of these gauntlets, out of these Infinity Stones, 6 is like chef's kiss.
Like a 3.
That is very. I was gonna give it 2.5. I give it 2.5. Katie gives it 3.
Like a 3.
So those of you who are watching, kind of get a little feel of what we're gonna be jumping into. Okay. Whew. This movie is 2 hours and 9 minutes, and it definitely, as sometimes, feels like it's 2 hours and 9 minutes. Oh, correct. Um, and yeah, we gave it two. I gave it 2.5 Infinity Stones. Katie gave it
Three.
3 Infinity Stones. So let's just get right into it. We're gonna go ahead and start talking about some of our favorite scenes in this movie. Do you have any scenes that you? Ah!
Camera problems.
Kitty dropped. Camera problems. Sorry, guys. It's all good. It's all good. We're getting that fixed. Okay.
Stop touching the table.
Okay, I'm sorry. Do you have any scenes that you really enjoyed?
I really enjoyed. To be honest, there's two things that I could pick out in particular. It's super cheesy, and I'm gonna, whatever, I'm gonna. But the unicorn scene was just hilarious. These spooky, scary unicorns coming out of nowhere and then just being bugs after some Skittles. I think it's pretty funny. But other than that, anything, forgive me, I'm not good with names, so actor names. Any with Freddy, in it, Freddy as the child, Freddy?
Jack Dylan Grazer.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that triggered that emotion for him when he's crying is actually pretty heart-tugging. At the very end, in the beginning with the teacher, it all tugs at your heart really well because he has that ugly cry that works so well. You know, a lot of actors do the nice, pretty cry to save their face, but it doesn't look real. For him, he does that ugly cry that makes it just snotty and gross, but it works. It looks so real, just heart-tugging.
Yeah. So that was it. That was just some of your favorite stuff.
Yeah, that was some of my favorite stuff.
I'm gonna preface some stuff before I get into my favorite scenes. But basically, Shazam 2 picks up with the kids basically all working together as a team in a way. They're known as the they give them, the newspaper gives them some kind of name because they're bad against superheroes. There's like something disastrous. It was basically the news doesn't take any of Shazam's team serious because they cause a lot of damage when fixing things.
Fiascos?
Yeah, something like that.
Fiascos.
The Philadelphia Fiascos was the name of the group that they gave to all of Shazam's family. So you find out that basically they've been kind of kicking butt and saving the world, but not really saving the world because nobody takes them seriously.
Saving the town.
And yeah, and throughout it, you kind of found that Billy himself is trying to keep the family together because they're all trying to do their own thing. Some of them are kind of growing weary of the whole saving the world thing. Some of them don't really care. They just want to be, kids because what they are. And you find that Billy's the glue kind of holding them all together. You find out that Freddy is doing things on his own. He's fighting crime on his own. He loves the spotlight. Like he's in the interviews after a scene, talking to the news reporter, making sure they call him by his name. At one point, he even says, he calls Shazam Captain something Junior.
Captain Every Power.
Captain Every Power Junior.
Because that's what he calls himself.
Yeah, because he calls himself Captain Every Power.
So he calls him Captain Every Power Junior.
Captain Every Power Junior. So Billy's just trying to keep this stuff together, but he doesn't really know what his destiny is for Shazam. And that's when we introduce, the side plot, which becomes the main. So the Daughters of Athena are looking for a staff.
Atlas.
The Daughters of...
Atlas.
The Daughters of Atlas, right? Greek mythology. They are looking for the staff that the wizard used in the first movie to give Billy Batson his powers. Now, if you remember the first movie, after Billy gives everyone the superpowers, he takes the staff and breaks it so Mark Strong's character, that was the villain in the first film, the name of the actor at least, doesn't get his hands on it. Mm-hmm. Thing is, eventually those two pieces end up in a museum. The Daughters of Atlas need that staff in its full form to get stuff done. Basically, thing is, they want to bring their Earth to our Earth and make it what once was. That's what they're looking for the tree of life. Am I wrong?
No, because they're going to go make their world.
Oh, yeah, they're going to... Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Katie's gonna guide me through this, guys. I forgot some of the stuff. But yeah, basically they need this staff because with that staff they can also take away the powers of every single Shazam's family, the Philadelphia Fiascos. I want to call them by their name separate, but the Shazam crew. That's what I'm gonna call them.
The Shazam siblings.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna be like Darla, Eugene, Pedro, right? No. So yeah, so they start to go on a hunt because they want to fight whoever is protecting Philadelphia, take away their powers to help them find the seed of life.
Mm-hmm.
And with the seed of life, they can use that and this staff in order to go create their own world because their world was destroyed. Meanwhile, back at school, Freddy starts to fall for this girl named
it's Anne.
Anne. Yeah, her name's Rachel Ziegler's character, Anne. And he starts to fall for her and everything like that. And it's kind of like a little side story, but it'll get into it. Eventually, you find out that she's the third sister in the Daughters of Atlas. So you have Helen Mirren, Rachel Ziegler, and Lucy Liu. They're all the Daughters of Atlas, right? Greek mythology. You know those gods, they were out there just slaying, but not the good type of slaying. Not St. Nicholas slaying. They were just doing their thing, especially Zeus. There's so many demigods. What a bad man. So, yeah, you get this story. Daughters of Atlas. They're trying to create their own world with the seed of life. Meanwhile, Billy's trying to keep the team together while each one of them's kind of dealing with their own thing. You know, Pedro's dealing with his sexuality, which is shown in the first movies. For those of y'all that want to come at this with pitchforks, it's a small little thing in the first movie, kind of expanded in this film to add character depth. You have Darla and Eugene are kind of doing their own thing. It's not really showing what they're doing exactly. Remember, Darla's a kid who's super hyper all the time.
I do believe they're the youngest.
Yes, they are.
Obviously, Darla is, but I believe Eugene's right after us. I mean, they're still in that growing period of their childhood, kind of going, oh, am I still into Barbies? Or am I, growing up into something else? They're still in that growth period. Yeah,
and then we have Freddy basically falling in love in school. We got Mary, who's upset because we find out that Mary didn't go to college. She gave up college in order to stay home. And it actually brings up a specific part in the film between Billy Batson and Mary. Here's the thing. Billy has never been able to rely on somebody his entire life. His mom left him. His dad left him. It seems like he's from home to home. Nobody loved him. So when it sticks with this family that want to take him in, he finds it hard to kind of let them in his life because he feels like, I want them in my life, but at the same time, I don't want to lose them. So in this movie, he's trying to keep all of them together. And we get this in-depth conversation between him and Mary, where Mary says, look, I've already aged out. They don't have to be taking care of me anymore. Bills are piling up with mom and dad. I want to pull my weight around here and contribute to help out. And she says, Billy, you will be 18 in 5 months. Pretty soon you will age out. It's time to start getting serious. Please remember that I said that, because when I talk about my complaints later on, it's going to make a lot of sense. So they have this whole conversation really in depth, right? Inside the movie, we get to see Diedrich Bader. He's actually a teacher who saves Freddy from those stupid bullies from part 1. Diedrich Bader, for those of you who don't know, he's done a lot of voice for DC. So it was really cool to see him appear in this film. A little nod. So as we go out throughout the film, I want to say it's little scenes here and there. I can't say that I had again, one of my favorite scenes was the conversation between Billy and Mary because it showed character development, character growth, right? Any other scenes in the film that I really enjoyed? There is a scene where Lucy Liu is on this dragon that's made out of wood, and that dragon instills fear into you. And she finds Anthena, that was her name, that's her full name. She finds Anne, whose powers that she had previously taken away, and she starts to instill fear on Anne. Freddy comes up and instills, he's starting to get the fear inside of him, but he's fighting it. So both of them are fighting it. And I just thought that was really cool to see, because it kind of shows that even though these people are kind of Greek goddesses, they still can't kick willpower in the ass. So I thought that was a really fun scene. And then later on, you see Shazam come in and start to whoop the dragons, but because it was like he says that it was a decoy, that Freddy and them were, the decoy, and I thought that was a really cool scene. I thought some of whenever they unleash the Seed of Life, they do it on Earth, and they do it at the Philadelphia, where the Phillies play?
Baseball.
Yeah, where the Phillies play baseball. They do it at the baseball film.
They do it at the baseball field.
In the baseball film, yeah. And forgive me, guys. This is going to be like, Manuel doesn't know sports. I don't know a lot of sports.
That's just fair.
I played them, but I don't know a lot about them. So yeah, they go ahead and go, well, because everything has a name. Like we had the Hook Stadium.
Yeah, but that's a whole other state, far away. I don't have the brain power to keep that in my head.
So yeah, that's basically
and when he says this was Lucy Liu on her own putting the seed into the stadium.
As the movie carries on, you find out that Anthena is a really cool sister. She doesn't want to cause any harm to the world. There are points in the film when the wizard returns again, as you said before. It's how they find Billy Batson through the wizard. They make him form the staff together again. And then they basically make him say, like, who did you will the power over to? And Lucy Liu has this power where she can whisper in your ear and get you to do whatever she did. For those of you who watch the Umbrella Academy, you know the character I'm talking about that can whisper. I heard a rumor. I'm forgetting her name right now. It's not to my tongue. But yeah, I heard a rumor. I think Allison. I heard a rumor. If or whatever. Lucy Liu is somewhat of the same thing, right? They can also turn people into stone. Yeah, because that's what Greek goddesses can do. So unfair, right? That's what they do. And you find out that like Helen Mirren's these daughters of Atlas are not really villains. They're not. The thing is, they just want to create their own Earth again. Maria, hola. I'm so sorry. Hi. Thank you for joining the stream. I barely realized, again, this is my first time hosting it, so I didn't know that the comments were on the side. For those of you who are watching right now, thank you so much for joining. It means the world. So you find out that the daughters of Atlas are not really bad people. They just want to get the Seed of Life so they can go create their own world and live in peace again. But
they had it, and it got taken away from them by the wizard.
Yes. Originally, they had it taken away by the wizard. So and you find that there's a lot of story development into why. I don't remember because it's fresh off the top of my dome from when we saw the movie a couple of days ago. So they're mad at the wizard, but their thing is like, look, we just want to go create life, another Earth. We can live there. We'll leave you alone, do our own thing. But little Lucy, she don't like that. She deems humans as worthless because it's like, why care for them, right? So that creates a problem, right? So she takes away Anthena's powers at one point, and that goes back to the scene whenever the dragon's instilling fear in both Anthena and Freddy. You understand? But Anthena has these cool powers. In her hands, these little rings form, and she's able to shift reality, kind of like Doctor Strange. And she could turn like whole cities around. Like if I was sitting in this chair, she'd probably turn me around and I'm looking at the wall. I don't know why she'd do that, but that's the power that Anthena can do. So a few comments I want to make. Bringing back the writer and the director of this film really adds to the movie because in doing so, we get I lost my train of thought. The heart. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The heart of the movie is still there.
The Shazam movies.
The heart of the Shazam movies are still there, and that's something that I really admired for the sequel film. There's this really cool scene where Shazam and Helen Mirren are sitting down for a conversation. It leads into a fight, and so you get to see Shazam, Mary, and Darla kick ass. They beat the shit out of Helen Mirren.
Eugene,
and then,
too.
But that's the thing about.
We were not prepared for this very well. We did not prepare.
What's causing it to do that? I didn't touch the thing.
I don't know.
Is it good now?
It'll be fine.
Okay. Okay, sorry guys. She
He has a tripod, I don't.
yeah, Helen Mirren is getting her butt whooped, and so Lucy Liu's character gets her butt whooped too. Here's one thing that I kind of made me mad is that Eugene knocks Lucy Liu's character into a building, and then they just leave her there for the longest time, while Mary, Darla, and Billy are all kicking Helen Mirren's ass. Eugene never goes to help them in any way. And when they come back up, because it leads to a fight that leads into a warehouse, kind of like underground. When they come back up, Eugene's just standing there with his powers, and then Lucy Liu comes out, even though there was like a whole 5 to 10 minute fight scene in between. And I get it, movie time's different from regular time, but come on, these were supposed to be goddesses, and all it took was one hit from Eugene. It's just, it didn't. I'm sorry, that kind of threw me off. Wasn't a big like a fun scene again, but there was that flaw in it, and I just don't understand it. So yeah, we get most of the story. It just continues. There's little things here and there. I want to say that I'm leaving a lot out, but I'm not leaving a lot out. A lot of this movie is just it's Billy trying to be a leader. Seriously, there's so many scenes in the lair where Billy's just sitting there asking what to do next. So he's struggling because Shazam, it's an acronym, right? For the wisdom of Solomon. I think it's the strength of Hercules. And I can't go through A, Z, A, M because I don't remember them. So Billy's just like really trying to figure out like why was I granted this power? Maybe my family we don't even want to work together as a team anymore. It's just causing a lot of stress. And so you see him deal with this throughout the entire film. And then, we have the Daughters of Atlas, who at one point, Lucy Liu causes a part of Philadelphia to get domed. And she's like, the way we were
All of
trapped.
Philadelphia.
Yeah. Well, was it all? Because it didn't seem like it was all.
It was all the city.
Wow. So, yeah, well, I guess because it's connected to something else. Yeah, so the whole city of Philadelphia is trapped in a dome. And that's what Shazam and his team are trying to, get out of. They're trying to, like, fix this, save this here and there. At one point, she unleashes Greek mythological characters into the world, and they start tearing shit up. We got Cyclopses. I think that's what you call multiple Cyclops. We got Minotaurs, unicorns, and these ugly bat-looking things with long hair and ugly
Those
noses.
things were nasty.
They look like a messed up Morbius.
100% like a Morbius on Coke.
Yeah. And I want to mention some things real fast.
Thing.
Yes, there's a line with the scorpion tail. That's scary as man. I'd be crying. That lion would eat me or stab me first and then eat me. But I just want to mention some things. Shazam 2 is a sequel to Shazam 1 and does do drawbacks to Shazam 1 to make sense. Even though the film got 2.5 Infinity Stones from me, I need to mention something because sometimes I just realize that I'm not. Hold on. This isn't on the Fanboy podcast. Okay, hold on. Guys, real fast. This is weird. It's supposed to be under the Fanboy. Hold up.
What are we on?
The cinnamon. I think we're good. Wait, let me see. Oh no, I gotta change the banners. Okay, let me see. A brand. Let me fix some stuff, guys, because I just realized that. Hold on. Oh, why isn't it? It's not on. Okay, I'm just gonna use brand 1. I'm gonna use because it's not letting me. Forgive me, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna use Imasua. And then you'll stick with me. It's not. Okay, yeah, I'll just use this one because some reason it's not. Okay, and then banners. Okay. Alright. Okay, cool. I got some of this stuff working, guys. Forgive me. The background said Cinnamon Movie Podcast. Forgive me. Those guys are amazing. Go check out their work. All part of the Emoto Productions brand. But that was the banner in the back for the longest time. I'm gonna go with original wrestling tacos because I cannot seem to find the Fanboy Podcast banner, and it's not like my thing's glitching. It's not letting me click it. So let's see. These are all opinions and views expressed by the Fanboy Podcast. So okay, it's completely lost my train of thought.
I don't
Do
know
you
where
remember
you're
where I was
going.
at?
I don't.
Oh yeah. Okay, so even though this is a sequel that carries the same heart of the first movie, which I absolutely love. But I want to say something that I think is very important. This is a sequel. It's a sequel. It's a part two. You know who made Minotaurs look the best? The Chronicles of Narnia films. Those had real looking Minotaurs, right? But when I saw the Minotaur in Multiverse of Madness, that was some horrible CGI. The Minotaurs in this movie are a lot more badass. And also, to be a sequel to the first Shazam, it works as a sequel. Unfortunately, I can't say that about Multiverse of Madness. That was Wanda and Friends. Again, I don't even want to talk about Multiverse of Madness. I'm gonna get mad. Wanda's dumb. Um. So with that, she deserves to be locked up.
I don't disagree with you. I just hate that that's what they made of her.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry for that, but yes. So this movie does very well at being a sequel and carrying itself as a sequel, and that's something that I really enjoyed about this film. Um, there are just fun scenes here and there. There is a scene that I found sad, and it's whenever Freddie and I want to call her Thena. I don't want to call her Anthena, but Freddie and Anne they go to a rooftop when they're talking because Freddie's head over here to this girl, right? And while they're talking, he says, "Would you like to meet the hottest member of the Philadelphia Fiascos or whatever?" And he pulls up a picture on his phone, and she points at Mary. She goes, "That one? No." And then she points at Eugene. "That one? No." You know what? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So she goes, "Let me just give him a call." She's like, "You actually know him?" "Yeah, let me give him a call." So she goes around, and he says the words, Shazam. He becomes the older Freddy, and he comes back around and he's talking to her for a bit, right? And she says that she's, "Where's Freddy?" He goes, "What are you talking about?" She goes, I'm scared for him." "Oh, there's nothing to be scared of. I can handle myself." She goes, "No, because when my sisters find him," and that's when the Daughters of Atlas, they appear on the rooftop, and they basically, like, Freddy's like, "Oh, it's go time." But they whoop his ass, and they take away his powers, which honestly, guys, it feels like Power Rangers. Anytime that the Power Rangers morphers didn't work, or they fall back and, like, couldn't morph again, that's what this feels like, which, again, that's kind of nostalgic. I kind of like that. So they take away Freddy's powers. A little while later, Diedrich Bader, the teacher, comes up to the rooftop, and he's like, "Hey, what are y'all? I can't be up here. What are y'all doing?" And Freddy goes, "No, go back inside." He doesn't listen. Lucy Liu goes up to him, whispers something in his ears. His eyes become black, and he throws himself off the roof. Dead. He dies.
Just walks right off.
Yeah, walks right off the roof, right in front of Freddy, and Freddy's hurt
trying to
about
get
it.
to him.
So one of the biggest what drives Shazam and the crew to fight in this is the fact that Freddy is taken very early in the film. The Daughters of Atlas take Freddy and say, "Until you give us the seed of life, we won't, we won't give him back." So then there's this whole back and forth with them. They set up a meeting, and that's when Helen Mirren, they capture her. But then being dumb and not knowing how her powers work, she breaks out of the cell, grabs the seed of life, which is an apple, a black apple, but it becomes gold when she, like, shakes it off.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And takes off with it. So again, out of the Daughters of Atlas, the meanest one, in my opinion, Lucy Liu.
Lucy Liu.
Right? Complete asshole. Just wants to cause havoc and chaos. So they have to fight with her multiple times in the movie. So it all kind of leads up to what ends up happening is they know that Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren, they now know how to get to the lair, which is under the house that Billy and all of his family live. Right? Because when they break it, doesn't it come out from... They don't explain that, but it did.
It did, yeah.
The lair.
Right.
It's weird. It's not really explained, but...
They actually do say in the movie that any of the, Shazam supers, if they open a door, whatever door, they can go into the lair. But you're right. In that scene where the dragon comes out from the bottom, it comes out through the bottom of the house.
It doesn't come out through a door.
When they're getting the parrots, it comes
door.
Straight up.
Yeah. That's something that wasn't explained now that I'm thinking about it. But no. Because usually it's doors that can get them to it, but the dragon comes from the bottom of the house, ruins the whole house. And earlier in the film, Jerry, it's not his name, but that's what I call him.
But he's Jerry.
The father, sorry. Yeah. He says, he's explained to the electrician, I don't understand why lightning keeps striking my house. I don't get it, right? Because they don't know that the kids are Shazam. They don't understand. They don't know that. So when Billy finds out that, man, the daughter's batless, they're coming for us, they all rush the parents' room. They bust in the door, like, Mom and Dad, we got to tell you something. And they're freaking out. They're like, get out of here, because they're laying in their bed. They're like, get out of here. Get out of here. What are you? And they're like, no, we got something to tell you.
It's us. It's
us. It's Billy. It's this. And then we got to tell you something. And they all say, what is it? Like, they're all telling them that the daughters Atlas are coming.
Mm-hmm,
they're like, the daughters Atlas, and
there's a dragon.
There's a dragon, and Pedro's like, I'm gay. And the parents are like,
literally all the siblings go,
oh yeah, we knew it.
We know.
Like, yeah, we knew that, bro. Like, you're good. Like, come on. And then the mom's like, yeah, I saw it a long time ago. And so that was a cute little way of like not making it like
too serious
or like making him feel bad. It was just a way of him coming out and the family being like,
you could just see the happiness on his face when he did, because he was like, oh
yeah, like, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Even though at one point, like, because one of the things is he's looking through this book and it has like one of the Phillies players like shirtless or like open shirt in his jersey, and I was like, yeah, Pedro's probably happy that now he can look at that in peace, and not feel weird about it.
Not pretend to be in baseball.
So that was a fun little scene. Really enjoyed that. So yeah, it all leads down to basically Billy getting all the family together. They get in a car, they drive off, and that's when they're all kind of coming up with different plans. So Darla finds out, how do we stop monsters? What are monsters scared of? At some point in the movie, you find out that there is a pin, which they call Steve, and only, I think Pedro's the one that knew about this?
Pedro's the one.
Yes. Pedro knows about the library. There's a pin named Steve. You can ask it whatever. It gives you information. It's like a magical pin. So they're asking Steve, hey, what are monsters afraid of? Unicorns. And at the time, the wizard's with them already. And they're like, unicorns are real. And the wizard's like, no, unicorns are very real. Unicorns are very real. They hate humans.
They're the most terrifying creatures.
Yeah, the most terrifying thing. They cannot stand people. And they're like, okay, what are the unicorns like? They say ambrosia. So Darla says, oh, I have an idea. They hide in caverns. That's where unicorns hide. And they love ambrosia. So there's a scene where they pull up to like this parking lot. It's real dim. It's one of those layered parking lots.
Like a doctor's or a hospital.
Yeah, and like they start to see a unicorn hatch, right? Out of this blob. And it starts running straight for Darla. And they're all scared, like, yo, what is she doing? And right before it hits Darla, she throws a bunch of Skittles at it.
Out of her pocket.
It turns out that the unicorns, Skittles on Earth is just as sweet as ambrosia.
Because ambrosia is supposed to be like a sweet nectar of some kind.
So they go, Mary, Eugene, and Darla. Pedro. They're all on unicorns' backs, killing all the monsters. So they're killing the Cyclops, they're killing the Minotaurs, the weird Morbius-looking things. They're killing the lions with the tail. Yeah, the lions with the scorpion tail. Meanwhile, Billy and his family are trying to figure out how are we gonna do that. How are we going to stop this world from taking over? How are we gonna stop Lucy Liu? He literally says that. How are we gonna stop Lucy Liu? Just kidding. He's like, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna stop this? What are we gonna do? And he's kind of freaking out because one thing that Billy struggles with this entire movie is that he doesn't feel like he's wise enough. He doesn't feel like he has that wisdom of Solomon. He's constantly asking the others what to do, especially
Solo
Mary,
man.
because Mary's the older. Huh?
Solo man.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to say solo man.
Solomon.
Solomon, he calls him Solomon,
Solomon.
and he calls him Saruman at one point. Yeah. So he's basically like telling the wizard, why would you choose me if I'm not wise? Like, that was a dumb decision, this and this. And the wizard goes, for years and years, I looked for somebody to hand the powers over to, and nobody was worthy of it. And I knew that you had the wisdom of the heart, right? So he tells them, like, you know what to do. So then Billy, hello? Okay, cool. Sorry. The sound got weird on me. Did you hear that? It stopped.
No, it was perfectly fine on my end.
Oh, so at one point, the wizard. So Billy says, "I know what I have to do." So Billy turns to his parents, turns to his mom, and he says, "Look, I know in a couple months or a few months I age out of the thing, and I know you're not going to want me anymore. But y'all are the closest thing I've ever had to a family, and I never wanted to lose y'all. Like, everybody's walked out on me in my life." And the mom goes, "You think that because you age out, you're done being my son? Like, y'all are all my kids, no matter like how old y'all get. I've always loved you." And he says, "I love you, Mom." Which earlier in the film, when they're all saying bye, Mom, he says bye, Rosa, because he hasn't completely accepted her as his mother. It's just that anxiety and that fear of losing his family, getting hurt in the process. And so I thought that was like a really beautiful scene. And he finally comes up to the decision that I know what to do. So he heads back to the rooftop that I didn't mention. But at some point, Lucy Liu becomes so messed up, she gets the dragon to kill Helen Mirren. It stabs Helen Mirren, and she's left for dead. Billy
We
finds
think she's dead.
We think she's dead, yeah. Billy finds Helen Mirren. He goes to her and kind of asks for her help. So what does she do? She brings down the dome that's all over Philadelphia, all the way down to the baseball stadium. And Billy gets locked in there with Lucy Liu and the dragon. And he says, I know how to end this. I'm not coming out until it's done. Of course, the parents and everybody, they're crying because they're like, no, this can mean death, this and this. He goes, I know what I have to do. So it turns out the more energy you feed a dragon, the stronger it gets. But the only reason it's getting strong is because of the staff. So he ends up grabbing the staff, using all of his powers, and then driving it into the heart of the...
Well, he starts shooting the lightning off everywhere until he finally gets it. And they actually, him and Lucy Liu have two spots where the dragon's spitting laser fire, whatever he has, and he's trying to go through it with the staff.
The staff, yeah.
With the staff.
Okay.
We have that twice.
Okay. All right. Whatever. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Don't ask me.
No, I'm just kidding. No, seriously, I didn't know that. So yeah, we get this huge fight, and Billy kills this dragon, kills Lucy Liu, destroys them, but in the process,
because it kind of just blows up all the energy. What the point of what he was doing, and they bring this up and they say it in the staff. He's saying it's like a battery, so he wants to overpower it till it pops. And that's
like
kind of like a bomb. And that's exactly what he does. Is he starts to put so much energy and all the power that he has into that staff till it starts to explode. And that's what takes out the dragon, Lucy Liu.
And Billy dies in the process. And so we get this scene when all the dome falls off. Helen Mirren lives to see her sister die and then dies herself.
And that's when the dome falls.
And that's when the dome falls off after Helen Mirren dies. And all the family, they rush to find Billy. And Freddie's freaking out.
Well, just the parents, Freddie and Anne, because the others are still on the uniform.
Yes. And so then they head over too, and they're all looking for Billy. They finally found Billy. They finally find Billy. Billy's laying there, lifeless. Freddy starts to cry, say, "Please tell me you're playing around. This is a joke." This is the part where you get up and say, "I'm kidding."
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Well, more or less. I don't.
No,
Gotcha. Oh, okay. Cool. I'm sorry. I was like, am I saying the wrong quote?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. We're done with the part. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, so it gets really sad, and Billy's dead.
Like dead.
And so Anthena, who's basically the only sister that stays alive, she eventually gets her. No. She says, and she and the wizard say, because he died like a god, he deserves to be buried like one. So next scene is them on
the god realm.
In the god realm, like up in the skies, and they buried Billy, and they're all there kind of somber and sad. And Freddy asks, "Is there any way to reverse this? Any way to fix it?" And the wizard says, "Only a god can fix it. And since no more gods exist, it's a lost cause." Like,
so nobody has the Shazam powers either, because the staff just has
the staff's
nothing.
gone. The staff no longer exists.
Well, they have the staff.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't have any power. So everything's real sad. And then again, guys, there's spoilers in this. So then you hear the yeah, like you hear the Wonder Woman theme, and she pops up, and she's like, basically like, "Oh, I'm here to save the day. I'm a god." So she comes in, and she brings Billy back to life. And she gives Anthena her powers back. And Billy pops out, and he's like, "I'm a zombie." No. They were like, "Zombie." Eugene's like, "Zombie." And his hand comes out.
Because all you see is just his hand pop out.
And so she's there, and she goes, they're all hugging Billy because he's Shazam again. And he gets his powers back, right? He's alive, gets his powers back. Everybody's loving on one another and all of this. And it turns out that earlier in the film, Billy, you could send letters. Steve writes these letters, and you can send them out to goddesses or gods. Yeah. And he had sent one out to Wonder Woman. So that's where she appears randomly, which he sent her a letter from the layer, so I don't know how she decides to appear where the goddesses live.
Dude,
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna.
That's when you start getting into stuff that.
Okay, so that happens, and then Billy's like, "Wait, hold on, don't leave," because Wonder Woman's taking off. And he has like a thing for Wonder Woman.
That's been a scene through the movies. He's had a little crush on Wonder Woman here and there. He has dreams about her.
Mm-hmm. There's like this little banter between them. She smiles, walks off.
Well,
huh? She smiles?
Yeah, they smiled. The spider.
The spider.
So, he's talking to her and kind of like, hey, like trying to hit on her. Funny enough, and he smiles. And she's like, "You have something to eat." He's like, "Wait, what?" And he pulls it out, and he's like, "I have a spider in my teeth."
Yeah. Yeah. So there's this, so there's like little banter, joke. She leaves. He turns around, and he's like, "All right, who wants their powers back?" And even all the kids raise their hand, and the mom and dad raise their hand. So they all get their powers back. At the end of the film, it shows them sitting down as a family, about to eat. Because I gotta get into my complaints in just a bit. But they're just being thankful for what they have and stuff, thankful for having one another. All of a sudden, the doorbell rings, and they're like, "Oh yeah!" Billy goes to get it, and it turns out the wizard comes in looking fly, like man, Dapper Dan, from the head to the toes, and kind of like says, I've done a lot of my time locked up. I've spent a lot of my time in hiding. It's time for me to explore the world and kind of see what's out there. So we feel happy for the man. And then Anthena decides she wants to live like a normal life for a bit, which makes no sense because it's like, Freddy likes you and eventually he'll age out.
Because we find out she's already 6,000 years old.
She's 6,000 years of age. So the movie,
obviously not aging.
so when they say Shazam at one point, the dad's like, oh, so you're the ones that have been messing up the house.
That's where the lightning came
Yeah, that's where the lightning came from. So the movie closes, nice little thing. I'm not really going to talk about the post-credit scenes. I want y'all to watch this on your own. I'm not going to spoil that. And the movie ends. And so now that I've talked about this entire movie from start to finish as much as I can remember, and I hope that I've given y'all somewhat of a very good deep-cut analysis of the entire film, I want to talk about some of the gripes that I had with this movie. One of the gripes is you have this amazing conversation between Billy and Mary. Mary feeling bad, wanting to pull her weight, right? And you have Billy being like, oh, we're going to age out this and this. And it's very heartfelt. Then later on in the film, the dad goes, oh, we just bought the house. But they never, ever explained why they were behind on bills, why they were struggling,
How they bought the house.
And then the house explodes, so then they're able to fix it, how they have the money to fix the house. That's never explained, and to me, that was a gripe. Because yes, the writing's good, but I feel like that was forgotten. And for that, I'd take away some points.
Because that is an emotional piece that they really could have used.
Another thing is, Pedro's character, Eugene's character, Darla's character, Freddy, and Mary, they all mirror their younger opposites in every way, shape, and form. Darla's very giddy, always joking around. Eugene's the smart one. At one point, when they're saving people from a bridge in the film, he's melding the pieces back together so that it doesn't break anymore, which again, that seems like something Eugene would do. Pedro uses his super strength here and there, which is really cool because Pedro's a quiet character, so you don't expect
he's a little awkward kid.
Yeah. Mary knows how to kick ass and hold the team together to lead the team when she can because Billy depends on it. And then Freddy's being that young teenager who's just excited that, hey, I may be set back from walking correctly, but when I'm in this form, I can be everything I've ever dreamed of being. It gets to his head a little bit. It becomes a little cocky, but it's nothing that, like, veers away from who his character is. It's not like I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But the gripe that I have in this is as much as I love Zachary Levi, I feel like there's a huge disconnect between Zachary Levi as Shazam and Asher Angel as Billy Batson. And the reason that I'm saying that is because in this entire film, every time that Billy is Billy, he's level-headed, he's reasoning, he understands his role. He's a 17-year-old, so it kind of makes sense. At that age, you're not mature, but you're starting to see life for what it is.
You're not your 12-year-old self.
Yeah, you're not your 12-year-old self anymore. And then he becomes Shazam, and he's just a joke. Like, everything's funny to him. Being a superhero is so quirky, so funny. And it's just like, it felt like there was a disconnect, because this is a 17-year-old. You look at people like Spider-Man, Static Shock, these characters that are teenagers, Danny Phantom, that know how to...
Danny Phantom's a bad example.
In a way, but he knew when he had to be a hero.
Sometimes.
Not the best at it, but still not as bad as... I would say a little more mature than the way Shazam acts.
I don't know, because the only reason he had to fix stuff is because he
messed it up? Okay. No love for Danny Phantom.
I love Danny Phantom. Split Second.
Okay, Alien Force Ben 10 even knew when to be mature. He was a 15-year-old.
That's fair.
So yeah, that disconnect really threw the movie off for me. If they decide to do any more, or if they decide to do any more, I really hope that Zachary Levi and the writers kind of give more time for Zachary Levi and Asher Angel to hang out with each other.
Yeah.
Uh, just so it makes more sense because a lot of this really bothered me, and that's why I had to take away some points. So all in all, I would finally say that the movie's fun. It's great. It's enjoyable. But that's all it is to me. It's just an enjoyable film, something to watch as a family, in the story. I don't think it ever stuck out or something that I'd be like, I gotta watch this again and again and again and again. This is the best movie I've ever seen. Of course, I'm gonna buy the Steelbook when it comes out because that's who I am as a person, and I thoroughly did enjoy this film. But I feel it lacked an action in a way. It relied too heavily on like the Earth being destroyed. I needed more fighting, and I feel like that's possible to get at some point. We will never see Black Adam fight Shazam, which is really heartbreaking. But all in all, I stick with my Infinity Stones at 2.5. I leave it at that. For those of you who have not seen this movie, go out and watch it. I still recommend you go see it. It's still a fun movie.
It's a cute movie. It's fun. It holds true to Shazam theme, where it is family-centered, funny, sweet spot. So I mean, it holds true to that. It's just not an incredible film. It's kind of a surface film, kind of a filler film, a little bit shallow. Good, but there's just not a lot of substance.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of stuff that can be worked upon. Otherwise, still a really good film. We hope you've enjoyed us talking about this film, the things we like, the things that we dislike. I know that there are other things in this movie, that in this podcast we usually talk about. One of those things is who would you fan cast for any of these characters? And to be honest with you, after seeing them for 2 films, I don't fan cast anybody. I think everybody kind of lives up to the role. Great cast from children to adults. Real fun. These feel like family-friendly superhero films. That's what these movies feel like. And to me, that's wholesome. It's great. I love movies where I can go and disappear from the actual world for an amount of time, where nothing is thrown at me, and the point is just to take me away from reality for however long, and this movie manages to do that. So if you have not seen Shazam, Fear of the Gods is currently in theaters. Go out. Discount Tuesday. That's tonight. Go get yourself some popcorn, or if you go to cinema theaters, the Shazam 10. Sit down, enjoy your movie, and then let me know how y'all think. What y'all think. How y'all think. Don't let me know how y'all think. Let me know what y'all think of this film. It's been really great reviewing this. Glad to have had my lovely fiance Katie join us for the podcast. Franco will return the next Avengers film. It says that at the end of the credits sometimes if you stay long enough.
That's supposed to be.
Yeah. I thank y'all for joining. I hope that this was good. Sorry for the technical difficulties here and there. Again, all the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are for the members of the Fanboy Podcast and the Fanboy Podcast alone. Sorry, Cinema Men. I love y'all. Forgive me. And Rascal Tacos. Again, I couldn't find the Fanboy Podcast banner. Join us soon as we review Ang Lee's Hulk. We just thought we'd throw this one in there so y'all have something to listen to at work, when you're working out, whatever it is y'all listen to our voices. Always, it's a really great time. Be sure to follow the YouTube channel, Emoso Productions. Follow Emoso Productions on Instagram, Emoso Productions Facebook page. And if you want, you can follow me on Instagram at FreshTV217. That's Fresh with a PH, RESH TV 217 on Instagram. I post a lot of my latest finds, toy hunts, action figures. I have a lot of fun on that account. And Katie, thank you so much for joining. It's up to you if you'd like to plug where they can follow you at. You don't have to. You
I'm
can just
good.
say
I
I'm a
don't
one
post.
and done.
I'm the horrible person that doesn't post and just scrolls. So
Yeah.
follow him, because I love him. We're engaged. So follow him and be a part of Emoso Productions as well as Maybe Fresh. Fresh TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
Yeah. And then once again, guys, before this podcast ends, I just want to again, every little thing that y'all do for this podcast matters. Whether it's just tuning into view once, whether it's commenting on these videos, whether it's sharing these videos on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, MySpace? Just kidding. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. It means the world to us. Don't ever think that your view is just a view. Don't ever think that your comments are just comments. This is a community, and without the fans, we wouldn't be where we are today.
We are nothing.
So, exactly. The fans really do. Y'all, it's by y'all's word of mouth that this stuff gets spread around, and forever that means the world to us for the accomplishments that have been made on the YouTube channel. It's just a blessing. It's crazy. So don't ever think that you're just another listener. Remember, you're contributing to a dream that Franco and I had at one point to start up this podcast. As always, you can listen to us on many other podcasts of all the creators on this. Go follow them. Everybody's here to just pour their blood, sweat, and tears into making great content for y'all to enjoy, for y'all to listen to, and it always means the world to us when we hear feedback. When y'all talk to us about what you like, when talk to us about what you didn't like. I sometimes even end this with a fight list. I never truly mean I'm going to fight the people that disagree with me. It's just something fun. And y'all stick around to listen to it. Y'all stick around to hear us ramble. And I know that I'm rambling right now.
I was going to say, like, we're doing now.
Yeah, but it's just, I need y'all to understand that y'all are of importance. And it's not just another like or share. It helps promote the channel. And thank you so much. So until next time, you've been listening to the Fanboy Podcast. Eat your vegetables unless you don't like them. And don't drink plenty of milk if you're lactose intolerant. We hope you enjoyed this. Peace.